So everyone able to see my screen, right? I know it's Saturday afternoon.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And one more quick information which I wanted to share is like I'm planning to wrap up our entire course within this week. So I hope I have touched upon almost all the topics, and there are a few things pending which I hope it will be over by this weekend actually. Right?
I am lagging behind for Selenium. मेरे को बहुत सारी चीजें पढ़नी है. So I must be going through the links you have shared.
Yes, yes. And there is only one more video that I am yet to share. I think if that is done, all the videos are actually shared in that channel.
Okay.
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 Anyway.
Also,
So,
Karthik,
yeah.
there is one good news. I have joined new organization, Mobivic, as a SDT.
What's the company name?
Mobivic.
MobiQuick. Okay.
Yeah.
Great, yeah. Congrats.
Thank you, Karthik.
Delhi or Bangalore?
Gurgaon, Gurgaon.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Great. So it's better for you. It's near. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Nearby me. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Great. Okay. Okay. Let me start. So we saw Angel. Actually, last few classes we saw about what is test engine and all.
Yeah,
Like
Karthik.
how it is useful in test-driven development, and we developed a small framework to test all these things. So today and Monday, I'm going to touch upon this Cucumber kind of things, and maybe we'll
Okay.
discuss about draw a comparison between a test engine Cucumber,
Okay.
and we try to cover Cucumber within this Monday. So, any idea about what is a Cucumber? I mean, people might have already known, but just still recapping is always good, right?
No,
Any
it's
idea?
a framework, Karthik. Only that thing we know.
So basically, the testing frameworks differs in two broad areas. One is TDD and BDD. Right. TDD is test-driven development. BDD is behavior-driven development. So what's the basic difference between these two is like uh, this TDD concept actually derived from JUnit. We saw, right? Why it's a test-driven development? Because we test the code by writing some other code to test directly by giving some various scenarios like edge cases, your positive negative values, your edge values, zero values, null values, test all these things, right? Basically a unit testing framework is helpful to do these kind of unit testing things. And TDD as a testing framework, TestNG is kind of just an extension to this TDD, right? Just an overhaul to make it more compatible with the testing kind of frameworks. So it has the annotations, right? Basic annotations like at test, at before test. I mean, all those things we already saw. But why these annotations are actually there? Why we have to use these annotations to drive a test-driven development? So this is how a framework is actually structured in a TDD kind of framework like TestNG. So uh, you have this AOP concept. Right, aspect-oriented programming. You just annotate some methods with some annotations, and based on the annotation, it will be intercepted and it will be executed. All right. So what happens here is like you are driving the test directly through the code. You are not giving anything in a descriptive way or having any mapping kind of thing to your test cases and your test, right? So mapping we have to explicitly create through our framework creation. For example, in the previous classes, we saw how we can map TD framework to our actually test case, right? So we have to have this test case name as a class name itself. And you have to read this test case name from an Excel sheet through reflection, you can convert this particular, you get this as a string, right, from the Excel sheet. You convert this to a actual class, Java class, using reflection, and you actually, I mean, invoke this particular class through our TDD code. Maybe just close all this. So this is how we do, right? So if you wanted to do something, for example, this is the class name driver methods Excel, right? And this is the actual class which is annotated with this test-ng annotations that is those tests are going to run. So so if you wanted to run a test case against this particular code, to run any particular code, as a framework, we only give these mappings to redirect all these things, right? Framework doesn't give all these mappings; it just gives those annotations. Only it's a test-driven development, right? Not actual behavior-driven development. Behavior is something which is related to a test case itself. Test case defines a behavior of a particular thing which we wanted to test in our application. So it is not driven by a behavior; it is actually driven by a test itself. So only we are generating every method using test, and we are driving it. So why, as and when we are creating this framework, we can. I mean, this is one of the way. I'm not saying this is the only one way to map a test case to test-ng. There can be many ways depending upon how you can how you are going to design a framework. But this is one of the common way that you can do. You can read the data from Excel. You can convert this particular string to a class name using reflections. You can invoke the particular thing, or you can invoke directly this testng.xml. That example also we saw, right? So we have to give this full class qualified name along with a package name dot class name. So whatever that is present here, that will be run. So this is how TDD basically works. But we have all these concepts aligned in a TDD. So we have this testing that is run, that is generating some basic test-ng results, and we have these hooks. We call this as a hooks, right? Whatever we have here, before test, after test. Why we call it as a hook? Because it is not a linear programming. Linear programming is something which we have done here. Line by line, it will execute based on what order we ask it to execute. But it's not. It's a non-linear programming method. Before this method invocation, every time before test will be executed, right? So we are asking it to do a kind of a non-linear programming by putting some hook inside our particular program. What is a hook? The hook is something which will hook into something based on certain events, right? So only we call it as a, why we call a hook that is a latch into a door. We call it as a hook because it is locked into something based on some event, right? Either we release the hook or take out the hook. So these kind of annotations, we call it as hooks. Hookumar also has this hooks concept, right? So this is how you basically design a framework itself. So, but one big disadvantage what people saw in this particular test-ng is very very good, but what people are saying is like, hey, okay, but this is based on JUnit framework only, that is used by developers, and still as a testing people is kind of people who bridges the gaps between actual code that is going to do some actions and actual stakeholders who is going to view this testing results and all that. So as a business owner, as a product owner, or as a client, or as a stakeholder, I don't get clarity by seeing all these test cases. Hey, I don't know what you're trying to do here. So I need a better clarity in what is actually that is being done here. Then emerges this concept called BDD. So what this BDD actually does is like it actually provides a descriptive way of automating your test cases. So that's one of the biggest selling point of BDD, right? I mean, I mean, this is one of the biggest selling point, right? I mean, anyone has worked in BDD, I mean, Cucumber before?
Yeah, Karthik, I have.
Okay. Shiva, right? Apart from that,
It's me.
okay, 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 cool. So this is one of the important points what people saw. Hey, okay, I'm able to read something as an actual text, and I'm able to execute in our environment. That is kind of very useful for me. And what is the other biggest advantage? What people saw is like developing a framework is very easy using BDD. So what happens in TDD is like, since we have to create our own mapping to our test cases linked with our Excel sheet, even we have to do that in a Cucumber. I'm not saying you should not do that. You should do that. But linking a test case through your test methods is very easy in Cucumber because you have this kind of feature file. We'll come to feature file for people who don't know. We'll come to feature file. So feature file is something which provides a descriptive way of representing your test cases, right? Same thing, you can store it in an Excel sheet or you can store it in a JSON file, right? This feature file is a very important core component of a BDD. Feature file is something which used to describe. It's a descriptive way of writing test cases in actual code, right? So since we are doing it verbally, so it is kind of very easy to map this particular feature scenario to a particular Excel sheet, and to map this, it becomes very easy. So because of this, framework creation is super easy. So okay, this is one advantage. What is the second drawback that you can think of in this TestNG framework? See, let's think in automation. Let's say we are assigned a task of automating some 100 test cases. Let's assume that case. This is a single test case that we saw some examples, right? Let's say you are going to automate some 100 test cases. So every time you have to create a class like this, and this particular class theme should map with the Excel sheet name, as we discussed just before. And you have to have these methods that has to be invoked either through a keyword driven framework, through reflections, or you can invoke directly. I mean, you cannot, I mean, it's kind of optional, or you can annotate with attest annotation. Every attest annotation method will obviously execute in a TestNG kind of environment. So, but what can be a disadvantage of using this kind of thing? Let's say you are going to automate 100 test cases. What can be a disadvantage in this kind of framework? Anyone? Hello.
Karthik, can you just come back on the question?
Okay. See, we are having this test-driven development, right? For let's say this is one of the test case that we are executing. We are launching the browser. We are inputting some selection in a particular web page and clicking the submit button, right? This is one of the test case. Your application may have many number of scenarios like this, and let's say you are given a task of automating 100 such scenarios, right? What can be a drawback of using this TestNG kind of framework for this many more scenarios, hundreds of scenarios? What can be a possible drawback?
Is it with respect to the background check?
Background check.
The initializing like to run the test cases for each and every time. It's with respect to the initiation side.
No, initiation you can still do at before all using that hook. But what's the main drawback is, for example, let's say this input selection test case that you wanted to use in kind of in that 100 test cases, this particular step comes in some 20-25 test cases. Right? Now, you have to just copy this code and paste it in each and every class that you're going to create. So there are minimum duplication of the code when you are trying to use this kind of framework, TestNG kind of framework. If this particular step, let's consider this as one of the test step in this test case, this input selection. Every time in that 100 test case, if you wanted to do this step in a 25 test case, so in our framework creation kind of thing, what you have to do, you have to create one more class like this in this package, and you have to again copy the same data using a test annotation and paste it there also for that particular test case student. You cannot just reuse this code there. You're getting it. There is so much duplication of our code that's going to happen, even though if you design a proper framework actually. So if you don't want to duplicate the effort and if you want to reuse the code, there is much more check that you have to do in your automation framework. Again, the framework creation process becomes very, very complex. Getting the whole idea? Because once you don't do this, you will not get any kind of mapping that is there between your test case and the actual code that you wanted to. For example, this particular class is created to test a particular test case, right? You just launch the browser, you just input this selection, you just click submit, and you just assert some text is there or not. What if there is some other test case, you wanted to use the same submit button, and you wanted to validate some other thing, some other things. So how will you do that actually in a TestNG kind of framework? In this kind of framework, actually, you have to create another class here, right? And copy this same thing and put it there. So getting the whole idea what I'm trying to say? And annotate with the same attest thing, right? You're getting the idea, right, everyone?
Yes, Karthik.
Okay. So this code reusability is a very, very big problem in TestNG kind of framework. So how it is solved in Cucumber? You just have this feature file with a step with a mark like I've given when then. So you just have to associate this particular step with one method only that can be present in any class inside a step definition package. And every time you give that given the particular scenario, only that method will be called irrespective of whatever class the particular method is present. You don't have to reuse this particular method elsewhere to run this particular scenario in a feature file. Write once and use it in n number of feature files. So that reusability problem is kind of almost solved in this Cucumber kind of framework, right?
So you meant to say the snippet concept. You meant to say that one?
Which snippet concept?
The snippets you have, right, with the code snippets with respect to the feature files.
Mhm.
Once we generate the snippets, okay, we
Yeah,
use that writing in the code, right?
Yeah.
That's what you meant to say, right?
Yeah, right. A snippet is what? Just a method creation, right? Against the particular.
Yes.
Yeah. Feature files.
Yeah.
So once you do that, how many number of feature files you create and call that particular step implementation method? It's going to be the same method only. You don't have to rewrite the method again in a different file. You're getting the point, right?
Yeah, the same. Karthik, wait, అక్కడ పెట్టిన చూడండి టేబుల్ పైన 4. Sorry, Karthik. Yeah, sorry guys. What I understood from TestNG and Cucumber, I'll just share my thoughts on it.
Mhm.
Either the way we'll be having the same kind of implementation.
Mhm.
The calling of using the Cucumber with respect to the snippets. Okay.
Mhm.
As we define also, we'll be calling the same snippets when we needed it, right? As we needed, we'll be calling the same snippet, and we here TestNG also the same thing, but only with respect to the stakeholder implementation.
No. See, testng, you're going to call the same method, but that are going to be a duplicator in a different class. That's what I am meaning to say. See, if you want to call this input selection method for this particular test case, which is available in this particular class, then this will be executed. What if this input selection is also a step in a different test case? How will you map this particular method there in a testng kind of framework?
Right.
Okay, you're getting the point, right? Again, you have to copy this and put it in a separate file and put a test annotation there to execute that file. See, execution is done at a class level. You're getting it right. You're getting the testng.xml. You're giving the actual class name itself here to run that particular class. What will be run in that class? What are the methods that are annotated with that test, for test, after test, everything. You're getting the whole point, right? So if I wanted to reuse that method, I have to just copy that code and paste the code in another class. That's a pain point only, right? And for example, assume that if there is some changes into that method, let's say if the text path is changed or the programming logic itself changed, there is two more input fields that are added to the particular screen. What you will do? You have to change this particular thing, change this input selection method for all the 25 test cases which it is reusing, not in a single area. You're getting it right? So you have to change all the changes that is necessary in all the 25 classes where this method is available. But in case of Cucumber, what you have to do, you just have to do a change in only one method. That particular method is linked to multiple scenarios in feature file, whereas one test cases is related to only one method in a testng file. So it's here a one-to-one mapping, whereas in a Cucumber it's kind of one-to-many mapping. That's the main difference actually. So because of this, code reusability becomes very efficient in a Cucumber kind of framework. Okay, I think am I clear, or is it okay, Shiva?
Yeah, got it.
So it is solved using Cucumber. So what is one another biggest benefit of using Cucumber is like generating reports. See, a report is a vital part of any testing framework, right? Report may be not important in a developer's perspective or unit testing perspective. But when you are creating an automation framework, reports is kind of a much vital thing to actually uh, do, right? So why reports are very easy in a Cucumber kind of framework is like you already defined everything in a feature file. Just show a sample feature file maybe in the internet. We'll create one, but let's see. So this is you can see the screen, right? This is a sample feature file. So you have this overall description. Everything you give as a description. Scenarios, you can consider this scenario as an equivalent to one of the attest annotations, right? Each scenario is attest annotation, right? So what happens is here is like so if a report if I want to integrate a report kind of framework that is with a Cucumber, then I can simply take this scenario given when then and put it in a report, right? You just don't have to give an explicit step kind of thing in a report to generate the report explicitly or do some extra effort for the report thing and all. Just take this given when then text and you just have to put it in a report and say whether that particular step is passed or failed. That is more than sufficient, right? Because I mean, while creating this feature file itself, we give everything in a descriptive way, so there is no need of doing a secondary effort for report kind of thing. So reporting is also becomes very simple in this kind of Cucumber framework. Okay. Simple to integrate. But what can be a downside of a Cucumber? people are opting for a Cucumber, even though it has a few downsides, but those are not a kind of big thing to worry. So what can be downside of Cucumber framework when compared to a test engine? I'm not able to hear. Hello. Okay. I'll say so. One of the biggest downside is you have to do everything verbally, right? You have to write down everything here in a very descriptive way. If you are going to automate thousands and thousands of test cases, then this is a pain process, right? You have to give a scenario for each and every test case, and you have to handle all these steps. Even I have this particular our own project created in Cucumber. Every time you create a test case, you have to write all these steps. Imagine a project where you have thousands of test cases like this, having many feature file mapped to a particular scenarios, and maintaining all these things verbally. It's kind of a pain process, right? Okay, I think I moved that folder some elsewhere. Let me check if it's actually opening. Okay. So this is the thing, right? You have to do everything here. Variable, you have to write down everything. So if you want to create one more test case, what you have to do? You can again you have to do everything here. Imagine you have thousands of test cases. So what we did in our project is like instead of automating a single test case by case, we have automated an entire scenario, entire flow. So in that way, you can use the Cucumber very efficiently, right? I mean, even if you're working on any automation framework, you can go and suggest to your project or manager. See, there may be in a regression cases, there may be some 500, 600 test cases for very large modules. What we can do is like instead of automating case by case, that's a duplication of effort anyway, right? Again, you have to write everything here, log in and go to that home page or go to any page, validate these things. Why can't we do that at a shot in a single scenario? Combine multiple test cases in a single scenario like this. It's not the actual test case that we are automating in our application. We are automating scenario by scenario. So in one flow, if this scenario is executed, then kind of entire project itself will be covered. I mean, more than 10, 15 test cases will be covered in this one scenario itself. In this kind of way, Cucumber and our project can be also managed very efficiently. You're getting the point, right? Hello.
It's cut, yes.
Okay. So okay, let's start with the basics. So there are many ways how you can run a Cucumber. As we saw in TestNG, we have to have some kind of mapping for our feature file to our actual method that is going to be called from the feature file. That mapping is again done through annotation in Cucumber, but in a kind of a little different way. All right. So every entry point of running a test case in a Cucumber is this feature file. Right. This feature file we always keep in general idea of you can keep it anywhere and run. But general idea of keeping a feature file is in SRC test folder, SRC test Java, and inside this we create a folder called feature itself, and we create a feature file inside this follow. It's kind of a general notation followed by the testing community. We'll come to this annotations and a little later. This is called tags in Cucumber. We'll come to this little later, but understand that the component of a feature file is actually a keyword called feature. Actually, in this particular IntelliJ, I installed this. I mean, I'll show that plugin actually. Okay, you see this Jerkin and Cucumber for Java plugins, right? So even if you are using Eclipse, you have this kind of plugins that are available in Eclipse Marketplace. If you install, what it will do is like it will highlight the keywords. Otherwise, it's a plain text. Our IDE will not know whether it's a keyword or plain text, as it knows for Java, right? So once you install these kind of plugins, then our IDE will know, hey, this is a keyword that is there for the Cucumber or feature. This is kind of feature file. So the scenario outline is a keyword, given as a keyword. So it will highlight in different color. You're getting it right. And this user, this is actual data that we pass to the method. You're getting it right. So installation of this add-ons is it's kind of very useful. And what this add-on also does is like, for example, if I wanted to know what this particular given step is matched to a particular method, I can just hover over it, click the control and click on it. It will directly take me to a particular method that is mapped to this particular step in the feature file. Okay. So for this purpose also, add-ons are very helpful. Otherwise, what you have to do, you have to find this, copy this text, and you have to find this, find in the entire project, right? It's kind of painful sometimes, right? So by doing this kind of thing, you just have to click the control and click on the particular step. It will directly take you to the particular method that it is annotated with. So we have to understand how a Cucumber works as a flow. So entry point of a Cucumber is a feature file. So feature file, you can consider this feature file as a list of test cases that are combined so that the particular, if a feature file is executed, what are the test cases that are we have written in the particular feature file is executed, right? So we have this keyword called feature. Whatever we give in this particular feature keyword is kind of a description for the entire feature file. Hey, this feature file is going to handle all these test cases that are related to this feature, like that. For example, in our scenario, this feature file is related to what? Creating an email campaign, verifying it, selecting a template, selecting a footer, and finally deleting it. All these things this particular feature file is going to do. So we call we have using this feature. There are two other keywords we want to know. One is scenario, other one is scenario outline. You can also use scenario here. Scenario is kind of an individual test case which is equivalent to attest here. So as we have attest in our TDD or TestNG framework, we have this scenario or scenario outline in a Cucumber or BDD framework. So what we give in a scenario is like, hey, this particular feature file can contain n number of scenarios or n number of scenario outlines, but our project, what we are doing, contains only one scenario outline here. Because we have, as I said earlier, we combine many test cases and put it in a single scenario. You can go and create one more scenario here and put a second test or something, and you can write given when then here, right? You can do this also. This will be also executed if this feature file is run, right? But for simplicity's sake, let's consider this only now. So when I say scenario outline, you have to give some examples here for to take as an argument for the particular test case that you wanted to run. Example. Okay. For example, we have this user keyword, email and password, right? This user is given in every step. This email and password are given in this particular when step only. So what it will do, if it runs this particular test case, when this particular step will call, we'll go to this particular step actually. This particular step is called, you can see it takes this method takes two argument as an input, right? So it comes from this regular expression. It's not actually regular expression. Let's say it's a Cucumber expression. So whatever you put it inside this curly braces is taken as an argument, and what value is passed in these two things depends upon what value you give here in this angled brackets, and where this value is replaced. This value is replaced from this examples. Right? This value is replaced from this admin user email, admin user password. This whatever you give here is replaced here, and when this method is called, this particular two values is gotten from that examples and replaced in this username and password, and you can use that in the code logic here. You're getting the whole point. This is how you pass data through feature file directly into your actual method that you wanted to execute. So if you wanted to pass some data from your feature file itself, instead of scenario keyword, we use scenario outline keyword, and we use these examples. Here we use a single example. I can go and create multiple examples like this using a pipe simple. One more user I can create. Let's say this is a manager. And manager username, manager email, or manager password. So if I do like this, what will happen actually? Which value will be replaced? This value will be replaced for that step, or this value will be replaced? Can anyone say? Here I'm having two values for the same thing, right? This is also possible. But what value will be replaced actually?
In the Cucumber feature file?
Yeah.
The email?
No, email is a kind of a placeholder.
Placeholder, yes. Yeah.
This step. So if the placeholder has to be replaced by certain value, right? We are giving two values for this email itself. One
Yes.
is user email, another one is manager email. So which one will be replaced here?
It's with email only.
And either you should replace with this admin user email or with this manager email. You're getting my question, right?
But 1 second, Karthik, can you just go to the top of the feature file, please?
Yeah.
It goes by the column by column. Sorry, the row by row.
Okay.
Right? Because it's two different data coming into the feature file.
Two different data, right? So
yes.
Yeah. So what will happen is like, if you give two different data here, the entire scenario will be executed again for the second set of data. Instead of executing this entire test once, it will execute twice by replacing again with the second set of data.
True.
All right. We'll see all this in live example. We'll create one thing, but sake of learning initially the concepts, I'm just saying this. So when you give scenario outline and when you say examples here, how much examples you are giving here? For example, if you are giving 5 examples here, this particular scenario will be run 5 times for the examples that you are given here. So if this is the way you achieve this kind of what to say, you run the test for different test data, right? So you can achieve in Cucumber through this way actually, by giving a keyword for scenario outline. So what is given when then? actually in a Cucumber. We'll just delete this. What's the given when and then actually? So we say the Cucumber, I mean, entry point of any execution in a Cucumber is a feature file. And in feature file, it will search for this scenario or scenario outline keyword. So each scenario or scenario outline, as I said, it's a individual test cases, which is equivalent to this attest annotated method here. All right. So it will scan for every scenario or scenario outline in this particular feature file, and it will try to execute whatever is available there. But what are this given, when, then, those kind of things? Anyone say?
Karthik, can you just come again? Sorry.
See, entry point of execution in Cucumber is this feature file. This feature file only we are going to run to execute Cucumber to run our test cases, right? So feature is a collection of test cases. We can have n number of scenario or scenario outline in our feature file, right? So when we ask the Cucumber to run the feature, it will scan for all the scenario or scenario outline keyword in this particular feature file, and it will try to execute all these steps. But for execution of all these steps, why we need this keyword given, when, then, and those things and all?
It's a standardization which the Cucumber has designed using the Gherkin. Okay, so
okay,
it's kind of-
one question. If we give, see here there are two given, when, then, and those things are there. What if I replace every when, then with given? Let's say everything here is a given keyword only.
it's a condition actually.
Mhm.
Okay, given is a condition. Okay, when is the it's called a condition action. Okay, given is a condition.
Mhm.
When is an action. Okay,
Then
no,
is the
when is
action.
a case.
Yeah.
When is a case.
Mhm.
Given is the condition.
Okay.
When is the kind of if statement. Okay,
Okay.
then is the execution.
Okay. So let's say I have two given steps here. If you go to this particular method, it is also annotated with that given here, right? This particular method. Similarly, if you go to this particular step, it is also annotated with at given here, right? But when you go to this step, this particular method is annotated with at when. Let's say I'm replacing this feature file here instead of when I'm giving given itself here. Okay. Given itself here, and I'm changing, instead of at when here, I'm changing it at given itself here. So now what will happen? What is the impact of this change in our given test case? We had when here, but I have changed this to given itself. What is the impact of this change?
I think with my correct me if I'm wrong, Karthik.
Okay.
But with my knowledge towards a Cucumber, given is only the would be used only once in the feature file, like writing the feature file. You can write the multiple times when and then and. But I maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe we can write multiple times given.
No, before even we did this change, we had this two given, right? It worked only.
No, I'm saying that's what my thoughts are. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No,
Help me
okay.
in understanding.
Okay. So it is not like you have to give single given or multiple whens, and then there is no criteria like that. This is these are just notations to make us understand the business outline. This is a descriptive. We give every Cucumber test in a descriptive way, right? So if we use this given, when, and then properly in where we intend to use, along with this descriptive way of describing our things, then it gives more meaning to the feature file. That's it. Apart from that, it doesn't have any impact on our test execution. At the end of the day, what it will do, it will take this particular description and it will search for this method which are annotated with @given, and inside this particular @given, you have to put the same text. So our Cucumber is just going to search for this criteria. It is not worried about how much @given you are going to use, how much when or then it's going to use. It is not worried about that. This @given and when this different kind of keywords we have just to make our test case understanding better. Apart from that, if you replace this every given when then with @given itself, then even then our test case will work the same way it is working. But only catch is that we will not get a proper meaning of our test cases in our feature file. While reading, it will not give a proper meaning. So while reading this particular scenario, to give a proper meaning only, we are having this given when then test cases. Otherwise, only one keyword will do actually. Getting my whole point? Shiva? Even if you replace this entire thing with given, it will still work the same way, provided that you have to change these methods every when method, then but you have to change this with @given method. That's it. See, this kind of this is given when and then are just kind of a mapping from your feature file towards your step definition file, right? It does nothing more than that. It's just a mapping. How this mapping is done? It will read this keyword given. Okay, hey, this particular step has this given keyword, and in this given keyword, it has this description. So it will search the method with the given and @given annotation, and with this text given inside this @given. If both the kind of condition matches, it will execute this particular method, right? Apart from that, this keyword doesn't have any impact over our test cases or execution.
Right, Karthik.
So I hope I was somewhat clear in this scenario. I mean, in this idea. Mithun or Vinay, is that okay?
Yeah, Karthik, okay.
Yes, Karthik.
Just change it to when itself. So the scenario outline will contain the following keywords: given, when. We also have this and condition and keyword, right? And then. So these are the keywords just given to make our test case writing even with even more clarity. Apart from that, it just provides all these keywords have one thing in the functionality wise. It just maps to a particular method in a step definition package. That's it, right? So Cucumber entry point is feature file. Each feature file can have n number of scenario outline. Each scenario can contain given, when, then steps. If you change this particular name also doesn't matter, as long as you map your correct step to your step definition methods, doesn't matter. And we also saw how we can pass our arguments through this feature file into our methods by using this examples keyword, and how much our arguments you are passing here, that much time this particular test case will be executed, right? So okay, so these are the scenarios we saw in basic. Now feature file we have saw, right? Now what is a step definition file? What is a step definition file?
The snippets which we get, what are the feature file we have, right? The given, when, and then.
Yeah.
Or we use this snippets in the step definition to write the execution, like the actual flow. The actual implementation will be in the step definition.
Yes. So we have this feature file, we have these steps, and when we click on this particular step, it is going to this particular method, right? All this method, it is written, if you can see here. Yeah, all these things are written inside this particular thing called step definitions, actually, right? So this name can be anything, but for the sake of understanding the Cucumber better, we generally give this name as a step definition. So in this step definition, you create a class like this. Maybe I'll show better. Yeah. See, then here also then, right? So what happens here is like, see after at given then. So whatever feature steps that you written feature files, actual implementation that you are going to give in this step definition file only. So we also saw how the two things are mapped, right? How the feature file and step definition file are matched. This steps, this particular match is done by two things. One is this with keyword given. Other thing is with the description that we give for this keyword. How it is matched? It will search for this annotation. If it's a given step, it will search for the annotation given. Where it have to search, we specify in a runner class. We'll come to this runner class shortly. So it will search for this given annotation, and it will also match the string that is provided there, the description that is provided here. We'll say if this is a description, it will take this and match with the particular thing that we give inside this annotation. If both matches, then our Cucumber will know, hey, this is the method that I'm going to execute for this step. And what's the step? What's the definition? Definition is something implementation actual code that we write to run our test case, our code logic, right? So our actual code logic we write in these particular steps. And why, as I said previously, why this reusability is not a problem in Cucumber? Why this reusability is not a problem in Cucumber? For example, if I am creating one more scenario here, let's say I'm creating one more scenario here. Let's say I'm creating given keyword. Sorry. So if I copy this particular step here and paste it here, it will still work for me. Same method only will be called. You don't have to copy this method again in a separate class and copy the same implementation or definition there. For any number of times this step is called, only the same method is going to be called, right? You don't have to duplicate the particular method effort here. You're getting the whole point, right? So that the duplication is avoided here. Everyone, Shiva, Vinay, Mithun, I think okay, Vinay left. Mithun, you got right. So the duplication is avoided through these things actually in a Cucumber.
Yes, Karthik.
Okay. So this is how we map a feature file to a step definition file. And in this step definition, we actually give this logic, and we can implement this page object model. So generally, people go with page object model nowadays, right? If you wanted to have some steps, let's say. So let's say email campaigns. Okay. So we write this page object model, copy every XPath or ID or that particular element's property. We just identify the locator and put it here, and use this particular locators in our step definition files, right? And we write our code logic there. Assertions can be done there, and depot whatever you are going to do can be run there also. This particular feature file can be run in 2-3 ways. One of the most common way of doing that is using JUnit. Anyone tried with JUnit along with Cucumber?
No, Karthik.
Okay. We'll do this code in the next class, but I'm just giving you a rough idea. So to run Cucumber, you definitely have to have a JUnit, irrespective of you run with JUnit or not. JUnit is used for assertion also, right? If you want to validate something in your web page, you can do that with the JUnit. and you have this run with. If you see this run with annotation, it is actually coming from the JUnit runner, right? The JUnit org.junit.runner.run with. This runner can be used to run many many examples, and it's not only limited to this particular Cucumber and all. If you wanted to run your own class by implementing some feature, you can still use JUnit run with annotation. You use run with, and you pass this cucumber.class. This cucumber.class comes from this Cucumber package. Right? You have this Cucumber Maven dependency, you have this Cucumber package. This particular thing comes from this Cucumber package. And you have this Cucumber options. Right? This Cucumber options also come from this Cucumber API, Cucumber library. So once you have this Cucumber options, I will say, hey, where my feature file is located, where my step definition file is located, all the information I will give in this particular Cucumber options only. So our project has to know, right, where this particular feature file is located, where the step definition file is located. So without specifying the path, how will our project know where are these things, where are these resources? So you have to specify somewhere. So you give Cucumber options. There are a few more useful options in Cucumber options, like how do you want your report formatting and those kind of things also you can give. And this class can be anything. Generally, you give test runner class. And if you just right click and say run as JUnit test, this Cucumber will start to execute. You can run this Cucumber test using Maven command also. We'll see that also in future. So another important component of a Cucumber is a step. Okay, definition contains a core logic, which is mapped to feature file via annotations, which are either given, when, or then, and also through descriptions inside annotations. And this Cucumber, this definition also uses page object model to get locators. And use it inside our step definition class. And finally, what's the final component that we need for to run a Cucumber? A runner class. Right? Runner classes can be a JUnit runner with Cucumber options. And if you just run this runner class, it will identify this feature file and step definition file and execute all the logic here. So this is how a framework is designed. I think it's simple to understand. There's nothing too much complex happening here. Fine, right? Mithun or Shiva?
Yeah, Karthik, fine.
Okay. In Monday, what we'll try to do is like we'll actually try to create a small project using Cucumber, and we'll try to run that. Right.
Okay.
So we can wrap up the session. I think. Thanks for joining. Any questions that we discussed until now?
For me, no, Karthik.
Shiva?
No, Karthik, but I'll just I'll ping you in 2 minutes.
Okay, actually, I think I'll be going out. Maybe you'll connect later in the evening, Shiva.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Karthik.
Thank you.